Hello, and welcome to the Blue Pencil Sessions. This is where we take a look at your work and give you our thoughts. I'm Eileen. I'm here today with Donna and Crystal, and my dog, who may occasionally apparently bark and contribute to this. Today, we're having a chance, which is really kind of interesting, to look over a memoir. And in fact, we're looking at a later page in the memoir, a later section, and there was some questions about how well things fit in. And this is very interesting because neither Crystal or I have seen any other part of this, but Donna has. So we might have some different thoughts or opinions. So I'm going to start off by saying I loved so much of this, and I know, Crystal, you had some fun thoughts, so I'm going to let you jump in.
Yeah, well, to continue on the theme, I really enjoyed this. Like the language and just the vivid imagery, and I think he did a really good job of taking the vividness of this particular memory out of your head, and with all of the little inclusive details, brought it alive for us as well. So I think that was really, really strongly communicated, and well done you. No sort of suggestions around that language and stuff, but it was very vivid and very real, and I think did an excellent job of showing us and bringing us along with exactly what you were experiencing in your mind. So that was a very powerful expression of what you were trying to do.
Yeah, it was so strong. And there were so many lines that I found myself, kind of highlighting, and I felt like I was there. Like, I thought you did such a great job with that. My thing that I'm going to address is you kind of asked, like, how well does this fit in? And for me, one thing that stuck out as I was reading is at the top of the second page. So you talk first about this incredible memory that you have, that you don't really know where it fits in, which I loved all of that because I have some of those memories myself. I'm like, not sure where I was or when I was, but this one instant is crystal clear. But then all of a sudden there's a break, and there's a line that's coming to terms with my mom's failing short-term memory in contrast to her untarnished ability. And all of a sudden I was like, wait, what? I was just in Africa a second ago catching grasshoppers. What the hell just happened? Now, part of that is, and I do recognize because I haven't been reading the rest of the manuscript, but I do think this is a really good point for making sure, and for all readers or writers to think about transitions. So if you keep it this way, one way that I would flip the transition is I would start by saying, recalling this memory, which isn't vivid for me, so that allows us to sort of see.
Can you just say that again? Because you glitched. So recalling this memory, which is vivid for you.
Recalling this memory, which is vivid for you, and then taking us into your mother's own failing memory, I think is a much stronger way, rather than starting with your mom's failing memory and then talking about your memory. So I think that will help. And or if you are, again, looking at putting this at the end of your book, one thing to think about would be sort of starting with drawing those parallels. Now I'm bringing it all together. So we've been talking about all these things, and I have one more memory that I want to share that I don't know where it fits in, and bringing it so it is all that connection, because I have a feeling, and we're going to let Donna comment in a minute, that it is a contrast that's going on between your adventures in Africa, which is you out of your element and doing all this, and demands of family and maybe things going on with your family. So being very directive about how those two things come together would make a nice conclusion in my part. But if you don't want to make all those connections, then I would be more likely to put it at the opening, if that makes sense.
Which is a lovely segue, ta-da, over to me. Because I would say, was one thing I actually asked Lisa, because I don't know, people don't love often prologues or preludes. And however, because I do know this story and how important your family is, and I know all the themes in the story, I read this and I thought it would be a beautiful intro to the whole story, because it does pick up on the themes of family and your life experience, this adventure that you went on, and all of the new things that you got to do. So that was one question, is if it's not feeling intuitively necessarily right at the very end of the story, and it doesn't feel like you can massage it to make it as that wrap up. I think this is a really, really strong way to introduce people into your story and the themes that they're going to be reading about, which is, you know, the family. I mean, okay, maybe I'm an easy target, but I got all teary-eyed when I got down to the second page and reading about, you know, the contrast with your mom and with the family. And it, so yeah, it kind of sets a really nice tone to give a reader an idea of what we're going to get into. This is a scene I haven't read yet, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I love we didn't know, like, you have tension before we find out that they're grasshopper hunting, or that you become, like, there is some good tension in that. It was just lovely, absolutely great. Anyway, that's why I think it would be really great to start if you can't figure out how to feel comfortable with it at the end.
And I'm trying not to be grossed out by the fact that they were eating grass.
I've eaten grasshoppers, actually. There was a cricket
Oh my
protein.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Kickstarter that was like cricket protein bars and stuff. And yeah, I've had that. It's interesting.
No, thank you. But I would encourage everyone, whether you're writing memoir or not, to take a look at potentially these couple opening pages, because they are just so excellently evocative and emotional built.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. All right. For everyone else, if you'd like us to take a look at your pages, be sure to submit them to the blue pencil. And if you have a query you'd like us to take a look at, send it over to me, and I would be happy to review it in my office hours. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lisa.